How are you guys doing? To you who's watching this presentation, I'll start off with my names that are for Jamal, and I'm a student at Kayko College I'm in my senior year in Bachelor's of Arts in Business Management, specifically in the area of logistics and operations. Yeah. So I'm going to be talking about my research, and I'm going to be starting with the background, like a bit of context before we jump in through the details. And my topic is about the role of digital accounting systems in relation to financial reporting and bookkeeping accuracy. Yeah, I know it's a long sentence. And in this case, I'm going to be focusing on the case study of Kayko Group Ltd. It's located in also Rwanda. And so the background of this research is about what we still think is still a gap that is left in the area of digital accounting, specifically for businesses that have employees and have businesses and they have a system of running a day-to-day basis. And so the what I would identify as the problem statement in this case is the gap, in which case some businesses still use a traditional form, which could be like paper-based, specifically not digitized, and yeah, there's still a gap of human error, and this can be caused by a lot of factors. It could be limited infrastructures in the case of IT departments. There's also another issue which could be the lack of skills on users who know how to use the system, because we still have some systems like POS and EPM, but yeah, there's still that gap. There's also resistance to change. Yeah, it's a big gap. So I'm going to be also going through some of the conceptual framework, which is two things. There is a independent variable and also independent variable, dependent and independent variable. In terms of independent variables, yeah, sorry for the noise, but there is system automation, which is the ability of the system to do repetitive tasks, like saying maybe there is a buyer who's wanting like a book, and how it's able to do that repetitively. The second thing is real-time data, as in how does the system give you information of what entered, maybe the stock, what is the inventory management at this point, what have you sold. The third thing is the user training and also system adoption, which also takes us back to the problem statement. So user training, how are the employees, how are the business owners able to use the system of digitized accounting. And there is also system adoption, like maybe you could pose a question after they know how to use it. Are they using it now? Is the system already adopted, or they just did it for the sake of getting the system? There's also dependent variables. In this case, we may have data entry and also data integrity. How are the users able to write that data? How is the system programmed? There's also reliability of that information in terms of financial reporting. The second thing is about speed of generating that financial data to be used in making decision for the next month, for the next year, specifically like saying I've bought this enough amount of goods, I've gained this interest, so how am I going to plan for the next month? And the last one is would be implementing strategic decision based on the data. It's also another thing, basically saying I have this information from the system, and how am I going to use it in general? It could be about suppliers, it could be about the employees salary. How are you going to increase it or decrease it based on the profits that you're getting from the system? Yeah, giving you that information. The next thing was about developing the hypothesis. So in this case, there's a null hypothesis, in which case the system that Kayko is providing, how is it enhancing on financial reporting efficiency? There is also another alternative, which is about the financial could be the financial performance of an institution, and the decisions that how the decisions were made before and after gaining a digital accounting system. So following on that, there is also the objectives, in which case they have to be specific objectives. What are the objectives of my research proposal? So the first thing I would say, it would be about examining the bookkeeping accuracy, specifically in terms of seeing the gap on how there is reduced errors, human errors. Because if you're writing, you could have an error, but if you're inputting some data, you get it right away. There is no human error in that case. There's also assessing the influence of real-time data, as in how is this real-time information about the suppliers, about the employees, how is it helping you at that moment that you need it. The third thing would be investigating the challenges that are still present in the case of East Africa. Or it could also be in Rwanda. What are still some things that are considered challenges? We talked about resistance to change. We talked about low-skilled labor, about the system, and the last one will be developing strategic recommendations. So now that we have analyzed the gaps, now that we have seen the advantages of the systems, as we said, there's the POS, there's the one that Kayko of the case study that I'm using. So how can we now help those how can we help clear out that gap that is still there? Also, in the research, there is a literature review, which is about looking into other researches that people made about the digital accounting systems. What were the benefits and what did they find as the gaps? And this information shows how businesses continued to benefit more after adopting this system. There is the research design. In this case, I used a bit of both systems, like qualitative and also quantitative data in this research. Another thing is I think it's about population and sampling strategy. So with sampling strategies, what I would start with, I used the Leman method, whereby I had 100 people, and then my sample size is going to be about 80 people, which is also another purposive sampling in that case. So the target, in this case, the target population is going to be about the business owners, those who are using the systems. There's also financial managers, those who know more about or have higher knowledge in terms of financial and monetary policies. And lastly, it will be accountants. Also, adding on that, it would be those people who don't have already the system, who are still using the traditional way of keeping data. So the data collection tools within this research, I'm going to be using a bit of surveys and also semi-interviews with those people who are using and not using the system, the business owners, also asking them a little bit of context. And the secondary would be analyzing some of the testimonies or like documentations on ResearchGate on the systems, on how they are used. And also I could also use I could say that I will use also the Google Forms. So in conclusion, that's a bit of my research. So I'm going to be looking into the gaps, and then propose what could be like a template or like a prototype on how to use the new system, specifically to those who haven't yet started using the digitized system, and also analyzing that gap, and also presenting them with a prototype. So I think that's all I had to say, and thank you for hearing me out.